Live from KSAT 12, the News at Noon starts right now.
And happening right now, members of law enforcement are testifying in front of a grand jury in Uvalde.
This all stemming from the botched response to the Robb Elementary School shooting almost 2 years ago.
Lee Waldman is there live right now. Lee, do we know who is being called to testify?
Ursula David, DPS Director Colonel Steve McCraw was here at the Uvalde County Fairplex, but just about an hour ago, we saw him leaving in a blacked out SUV, and we now have confirmation that his plane left the Uvalde airport just after 11 a.m. In total, his trip here in Uvalde lasted less than 3 hours. McCraw's plane, he landed here in Uvalde around 8:30 this morning. Sources familiar with the top cop's trip say he insisted on testifying in front of the grand jury. Uvalde County District Attorney Christina Mitchell sat that grand jury last month, one day after the Department of Justice released its critical incident report into the failed law enforcement response at Robb Elementary. DPS turned over investigative material to Mitchell over a year ago. Now the grand jury is looking over that, as well as calling members of law enforcement to testify. CLEAT, the Combined Law Enforcement Association of Texas, the state's largest law enforcement union, released a statement last week that it was here in Uvalde giving officers legal representation. That same statement added that members of the Uvalde Police Department were also being called to testify in front of that grand jury. And just to remind you all at home, the process for a grand jury is one that is kept private, so we're not expecting to hear from anyone who is called to testify. Live in Uvalde, Lee Waldman, KSAT 12 News.
Lee, thank you very much. Right now, parts of the Lone Star State still on fire. This is one of the fires has grown into the second largest in Texas history.
The fast-moving flames burning through the panhandle, the fire forcing evacuations, it's triggering power outages, and firefighters are struggling to contain these flames as they widen in the area. The sprawling blaze, part of a cluster of fires that burned out of control and threatened rural towns. Local officials spent the night shutting down the roads here, urging residents to get out. Shelters opened their doors to people in desperate need.
Most of the people that have come in, they have lost everything. The fire, it's so unpredictable, and starting out the day, the wind was blowing out of the southwest, and then probably about 4 o'clock it switched to the north, and that sent the fire in another direction.
Yeah, those shifting winds made it pretty difficult for firefighters to fight those flames. The largest of the fires grew to nearly 800 square miles. Authorities are telling us it's even jumped into parts of neighboring Oklahoma and is still completely uncontained as we speak. Matter of fact, as we take a live look at live cam, a lot of people were talking this morning at the school we were at about how they could smell and see the smoke here in San Antonio from those wildfires.
Yep.
Yeah.
The wind is the story here today.
Most definitely. Yep. So by the way, the Smokehouse Creek fire burning now over 500,000 acres. Texas A&M Forest Service saying that is now the second largest wildfire in Texas history. And you're right, there was a little bit of a hint of smoke in the south central Texas air this morning, all thanks to the winds that have picked up behind the cold front that moved through earlier today as well. Of course, the winds have been the big story, not just here, but take a look at this across the entire state of Texas. This was the scene yesterday. Peak wind gusts, especially up into the panhandle near those fires. 62-mile-per-hour max wind gusts in Amarillo. The same story just off to the south in Lubbock. So you can imagine those non-thunderstorm, just high wind gusts, not helping firefighter crews at all battle those flames, along with the low humidity that's been moving in behind that front as well. You can see, thankfully, up in the panhandle, winds not as big of an issue right now. We're starting to see, though, some gustier winds in San Antonio, upwards of about 35 to even 40 miles per hour this Wednesday. And we did mention that little hint of smoke that you could have smelled in the air this morning, especially across our far western counties and closer to the Rio Grande. That is still a possibility into this afternoon. But then notice later on, as we head into the evening hours, whatever's left out there in terms of that smoke is expected to dissipate. Winds are still going to be gusty out there throughout the remainder of this afternoon, but they will ever so slightly start to subside tonight. Not nearly as windy into our Thursday. Other than that, the big story, of course, cooler temperatures by about 20 degrees this afternoon compared to where we were yesterday, topping off in the low 60s. By the way, tomorrow, even cooler with a few sprinkles possible. So we're going to get you a look at that temperature trend because another taste of winter just leads in another warm up as this temperature roller coaster continues. Those details coming up a little bit later on, guys.
Thank you so much, Mia. And yeah, that wind is even causing problems here in San Antonio. Just take a look at this. This is west of downtown. A small building just collapsing on itself this morning. And the crews are telling us it was that wind, the windy conditions playing a part in this. The building luckily was vacant and no one was hurt.
Near this noon, police and neighbors are trying to make sense of a violent act on the west side. Officers say someone shot a man multiple times while he was doing landscaping work at an apartment complex. Police say they were called to the Costa Valencia apartments. It's on Old Highway 90 just before 10:30 this morning. They found the victim in a parking lot with multiple gunshot wounds. SAPD says they aren't sure why someone would shoot the victim, but so far they think the suspect was upset that the man was just doing his job. Officers did detain one person, but they are not calling that person a suspect. So far, police haven't arrested anyone, but they do think the person who pulled the trigger lives at that complex. The victim was taken to the hospital in critical condition.
Fire taking a heavy toll in one San Antonio neighborhood. 2 homes and 3 cars, all either damaged or destroyed. And a pet dog was also killed here. As Katrina Weber reports, gusty winds again fanning those flames into a fiery menace.
Despite the urgent work of San Antonio firefighters, this is the relative calm after a firestorm in this West Side neighborhood. Flames began tearing through one home in the 100 block of West Knoll around 7:30 this morning, then quickly spread.
It was engulfed. I'm talking about 20 feet, 30 feet in the air across the whole.
Richard Herrera was about to go to breakfast when he noticed the fire across the street and called 911. His plans blew up after he heard explosions.
I thought a vehicle had entered my home. It hit the wall.
Firefighters believe that was the sound of tires popping. The fire also burned through 3 cars and caused major damage to the house next door.
It burned off. You can see one wall that burned off on the exposure side.
Firefighters say they saw the trouble as they approached from miles away. In addition to the material damage here, they say a woman had to be checked out for breathing problems, and they found a pet dog dead. Even more than the flames and the smoke, the wind played a big role in this fire today. And firefighters hope that others will take heed when it comes to realizing the role it can play in causing damage when there's an open flame.
We don't need another East Texas, Panhandle, Texas going on here. So anybody on the outside skirts, just do not burn.
Just total chaos. People coming out of the different homes and stuff.
Richard Herrera definitely doesn't want to see this kind of trouble again. Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
Early voting continues here in Bexar County through this Friday, but some voters are complaining that they are not receiving mail-in ballots. One voter we talked to says she was told there was no record of her mail-in ballot application in the system. She was worried after hearing it's happened to others.
They were all calling me that they had not received the mail ballot. So that's why I was very concerned, because if this is happening to us, I mean, how many other people have not received their mail ballot?
The Bexar County Elections Administrator says over 19,000 ballots were sent out. You can call the elections office to find out if your one was sent in the mail. The Bexar County Commissioner Tommy Calvert says his office is working with the Texas Civil Rights Project Election Protection to investigate voter complaints. Once again, early voting ends Friday.
Happening tomorrow, President Joe Biden and former President Donald Trump both expected to visit the border. We've learned that San Antonio Mayor Ron Nirenberg is going to meet up with President Biden in Brownsville and discuss the influx of migrants at the Texas-Mexico border.
Meanwhile, former President Trump will be in Eagle Pass. He will have crews on the border tomorrow covering both of those visits.
A 38-year-old man pleading guilty for his role in this, a tractor-trailer smuggling case that killed 53 people in San Antonio back in 2022. Luis Alberto Rivera Leal pleading guilty to 1 count of conspiracy to transport aliens, placing lives in jeopardy. That's according to the United States Attorney's Office. He faces a maximum penalty of 20 years in prison Authorities say the Rivera Leal was part of an organization that smuggled adults and children from Guatemala, Honduras, and Mexico into San Antonio. Back on June 27th of 2022, the organization coordinated the transport of a group of migrants in that tractor trailer from Laredo to San Antonio. 47 adults and 6 children died here from their injuries. Rivera Leal is the 4th suspect in the case to plead guilty.
Still coming up, the rodeo road trip is over. 1 ride out of 9 tries, not going to win you much. But the good news is the Spurs are headed home to regroup.
A board meeting last night turned into a call for action. It's all after the death of a man known as Mr. Fred, 73-year-old Alfred Jimenez, who died after he fell while working in a special education classroom in a confrontation with a student. Several teachers showed up at the board meeting to voice their frustrations and ask for change within the district. Many teachers say they're overworked, and they spoke about times when they get hurt in the classroom with students who have severe learning and emotional disabilities.
Blame does not lie on the students. The blame does not lie on the teachers. The blame lies in the lack of funding and the lack of resources that our schools continue to have, and that we look to the state of Texas for that.
The president of Northside AFT, a union that represents NISD teachers and staff, says on top of additional state funding, members want more training for staff and more staff in classrooms. In response, the school board members said, per protocol, they were not going to directly address public comment. However, they did say they are listening.
Outside with live cam, it's 59 degrees, a little chilly, but the big story today is that wind and the fire danger it is bringing with it, knowing West Texas is burning up.
Yeah, absolutely. A good idea to not burn anything today. Any activities that could spark an open flame, let's just keep those out of the plans for this Wednesday as those winds really continue into the afternoon. All right, a look at the aquifer level for today. Down 0.2 of a foot, 641.9 is the reading. Still a busy pollen count. Mulberry and ash both in the moderate category today, but molds, hackberry, and elm are low. So yes, we're going to get you another look at those wind gusts. What's happening outside right now, plus those changing temperatures after this.
It is National Tooth Fairy Day. I didn't know the Tooth Fairy had its own day, but apparently so.
They do so much good.
Do they?
They need their own day.
Collect teeth and hand out money.
Yeah.
Well, and they not only have today, there's another National Tooth Fairy Day in August, we discovered. Oh. Then we were kind of wondering, how do they get 2? And some people were speculating that's because you got to get 2 cleanings a year.
That makes sense.
It's all connected.
Yeah, but you're adding something icky to something that should be lots of fun. I say one time.
One time, right?
Yes.
So that got us thinking because we were hearing how much tooth fairies were giving out for teeth
It's gone
these
up.
days with
It's gone up.
inflation. So we want to know, what is the right amount that the tooth fairy should give for one tooth?
What do you guys think?
The highest I ever got for a tooth, from a tooth fairy for a tooth, was my son's tooth. It happened at a Spurs game, and everybody felt so sorry for him. He collected like $100.
No, well, that.
Wow.
But how much would you put under
Your
a
tooth fairy.
pillow?
$5.
$5?
Yeah.
But as a kid, I got a quarter. And I guess if you.
Well, inflation, David, since
Yeah,
you.
that was a long time ago.
Since the tooth fairy visited you.
Be careful. So I don't know with inflation if it goes up to $5. So the quarter, is a quarter worth $5 today?
Might be.
I don't know. It could be close.
That inflation, I tell you. Yes, let us know. We want to know what you think it should be. I know for me it was $2.
It was $2.
Yeah,
okay.
the tooth fairy only gave me $1 or $2, mostly stickers. The tooth fairy brought me stickers.
Well, Jen has kids. What do you give your kids, Jen?
Well, our tooth fairy leaves fairy dust, David, and that's nice enough, right? And maybe $5, maybe depends on the tooth fairy that day.
That's about right.
And how the kids are acting.
I'm actually, in full disclosure, I'm in his generation, and if we got a nickel or a quarter, that was
a big day.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm with you.
So scan that QR code and let us know. You may see where it's starting to shake down in the show when it continues from historic Market Square.
All right.
Mia is in a whole different generation. What were you getting when your tooth was out?
What did our Gen Zers get?
My first tooth, the Tooth Fairy left me $3.
Whoa.
And I was so excited about it. But then my second tooth, I lost at my grandparents' house, and I spent the night with them, and the Tooth Fairy brought me $5. So after that, I was like, I'm losing all my teeth at my grandparents' house because Tooth Fairy seems to be a little bit more generous.
You knew how to work that Tooth Fairy angle.
Yeah, we had the system down at that point.
Smart girl.
Yeah, it was, I'll never forget.
And that's why she's a meteorologist.
Yep. There you go.
She knows the
Those
numbers.
two totally go together. Yeah, exactly. All right, so speaking of numbers, temperatures, they are dropping compared to where we've been the past couple of days. Take a look at where the cold front is now and all the cooler air that's spilling into the state of Texas behind it, where the front hasn't quite reached just yet. For example, Laredo, 83. Meanwhile, we're sitting just shy of 60 here in the Alamo City, but as you get farther up into the Panhandle, upper 30s in Amarillo, and even below freezing even farther north, 31 in Wichita, 22 in Omaha. It's 9 degrees right now in Bismarck, North Dakota. Not going to get that cold here in South Central Texas. We are not anticipating any freezes over the next several days, but compared to where we were earlier this week, definitely a big change today, and even more so tomorrow. Today, I think low 60s. That's pretty much it, because we're going to see some increasing cloud cover into this afternoon. Even more cloud cover tomorrow. Low 50s. That's our forecast high tomorrow. So feeling like winter, don't put away the jackets just yet. But if you are a fan of those spring-like temperatures, you're going to like Friday into the weekend and even into early next week, because notice temperatures are going to quickly warm back up. Mid-70s expected on Friday, even approaching 80 as we head into the weekend as well. So here's a look at where we are. If you're fixing to step out for any Wednesday lunchtime plans, you probably will want the long sleeve. Again, 50s and low 60s in and around the San Antonio area. Mentioned that we're still going to hold on to the cloud cover for the most part today. So because of that, around 62 degrees, that's pretty much it for our afternoon high temperature. Just a 10% chance for a stray sprinkle with those clouds in place. The vast majority of us sitting on the drier side. And then if you're stepping out later this evening, do take the light jacket with you as thermometers slowly fall through the 50s. But again, most of us reaching for the low to mid 60s, maybe those struggling to climb out of the upper 50s across northern Bexar County, and especially as you get up into the higher elevations in the hill country. 59 in Canyon Lake later on today, 58 in Boerne, stretching over to Kerrville, 65 in Pleasanton, 63 in Floresville, 64 over in Kennedy out there in Karnes County. Now let's talk about those winds. Yes, you have definitely noticed them if you have stepped outside earlier today. Upwards of about 35 to even 40 miles per hour is what we've seen in terms of those peak wind gusts so far. Hondo right now clocking in a wind gust around 41 miles per hour. We are close to that here in San Antonio, same up in New Braunfels. So yes, that is going to make for elevated fire danger today. You can see that it is still going to be gusty as we head into this afternoon. Not nearly as windy tonight, but still breezy. But then by Thursday, tomorrow, we're not really expecting as much of a wind. So that is going to be good. Still chilly in the morning, low 40s. So yes, you will want to bundle up for the morning drive tomorrow and into Friday. The big story after that is going to be the quick warming of temperatures after tomorrow. By the way, with tomorrow, we've also got a 20% potential for a few sprinkles in the forecast. Here's what that looks like. Again, there is some moisture across central Texas right now, but this area of low pressure well off to our west, this essentially is going to throw some additional upper level energy our direction tomorrow, which could allow for a few sprinkles to fall. Unfortunately, it's not going to accumulate to very much. Then we dry things out Friday and into Saturday with low humidity. And a few isolated chances for an afternoon storm returns Sunday and into early next week. So we'll monitor that along with those changing temperatures still over the next several days, guys.
Thank you, Mia.
A big-time battle for a trip to the regional finals in boys basketball, and a little different way for a girls basketball team to get ready for playoff. The Rough Rodeo road trip ride is over. It ended last night in Minnesota, one of the top teams in the West right now, pretty much at the top of the conference. First quarter, Victor Wembanyama takes it from he did that against former Spur Kyle Anderson right off the dribble, step back three, then a former number 1 overall pick himself, Anthony Edwards, acrobatic move to get to the hoop. Ooh, look at that. That was nice. Wrong team, but nice. Second quarter, another French big guy, Rudy Gobert, throws it down. A one-hander over Wemby. Spurs down 58-43 at the half. Second half, Devin Vassell gets it from Wembanyama, and he's going to nail the baseline jumper. Wolves are in control, though. And then here's the big fella with a transition dunk coming up. A little steal, and then got it. Ooh. Yeah, later Minnesota native Trey Jones fires a cross-court pass to Keldon Johnson. Johnson knocks it down to 3, makes it interesting, but Monte Morris makes his free throws down the stretch to ice it for Minnesota. Here is your final 114-105. Minnesota takes it after the game. Pop keeping it simple and short.
Well, you can't win games when you give up 30 points off turnovers. That's the bottom line. And every time we've done that this year, we've gotten our butts kicked. So that happened again tonight. You know, everything else is pretty irrelevant. Last game we gave up 34 points off turnovers, so that's the deal.
He just kind of got up left after that. It is Wednesday. That means high school playoffs. Northside Sports Gym, Connor Boys and Harlan Hawks in the Class 6A regional quarterfinals. Two teams that like to run a fast-paced offense. First quarter, Connor's 6'6" senior Julian Barron posts up and floats it. Watch this. Yeah, got that little floater to go. Nice move. Strength down low. Braylon McMillan with the quick pass to Barron in the paint. Wide open for the two. The winner here will face East Central in Region 4 semifinals. Final minute of the opening quarter. Junior Evan Herrera makes the most of it. Nothing but net. Harlan is fast and athletic. The Hawks answer back with Elijah Moore, triple from the wing. But it's O'Connor who comes out victorious in this one. They advance with the 66-52 victory. The St. Mary's Hall girls back in the TAPS 5A state tournament. But this year, they're not content with just making it to the big stage. The Barons are chasing the state championship this year. And how serious are they? At practice, they went up against the boys team to get ready for a state semifinal rematch against Houston Second Baptist tomorrow at noon at University High School in Waco.
There was a lot of pressure this year. Once you make it the first time, everyone pats you on the back, but then there's that added level to, get back and hopefully try to finish the job.
Now, we know what we're supposed to do. We prepared, we planned, we prepped a lot. So I feel like we're here to make a statement this year.
And this squad has a lot of experience, so a lot of these young ladies know what it was like to get there last year, so that's why they're so content on going a little further this year. They only lost one senior, so they've got a lot of experience, a lot of knowledge.
I think as a team we've learned not to get frustrated with ourselves and to stay calm, which kind of go hand in hand, knowing that they're going to go on their runs and we're going to go on our runs, and we just have to limit their runs is something that we've kind of lived off of the past few games.
We know how to lock teams up on defense. All this whole season our strategy is just defense. So as long as we stay disciplined defensively, I think we'll be okay. We know we're the best team. We know that we're the #1 ranked team. We know we have been preparing for this moment this whole season.
Good luck to them. I wonder how they came out against the boys at practice. What do you think?
They are pumped.
Yeah, pretty excited.
Yeah. Okay, those fake and edited images are nothing new on the internet. However, now these deep fakes are spreading faster. They're becoming more realistic. Why it is and why it is causing concern. As we said earlier in the show, Texas dealing with some major wildfires, but other parts of the country also dealing with extreme weather.
At least 8 reported tornadoes touching down in 3 states, including Illinois. Just outside of Chicago, you can hear tornado sirens blaring in Bensenville, northeast of Chicago, and in the city of Geneva, about 50 miles due west from downtown Chicago, also suffering some damage. The tops of trees snapped right off, some ripped up, knocked over, and there's debris scattered across some neighborhoods as that storm now moves east.
Here at home, we're keeping an eye on the wind and warning folks, this is not your day to burn.
Yes, exactly. And by the way, the same system that was producing all of that severe weather last night and early this morning, it's all associated with the same cold front that's pushed through our area. We just didn't have the upper level dynamics and the energy to support severe weather. Thankfully, do wish we were able to get just a little bit more rain, though, out of this one. Take a look at current conditions outside right now. Again, the cloud cover in place. Temperatures sitting in the upper 50s and low 60s. And by the way, they're likely not going to climb a whole lot more over the next couple of hours because of that cloud cover moving in. Humidity has dropped significantly from where we were this time yesterday, but the wind, as Ursula mentioned, still one of the bigger stories. Sustained winds out of the north to northeast, upwards of about 15 to even 25 miles per hour in spots. So we'll continue to watch those wind gusts here into this afternoon. Forecast high right around 62 for us here in San Antonio, and then turning chilly if you are stepping out for any of those Wednesday evening plans. Remember, factor in the breeze and it'll make it feel just a little bit cooler, especially later on tonight. After that, even colder tomorrow, low 50s. That's it for our forecast high before we start to see a spring-like pattern quickly take over by Friday, approaching 80 degrees once again as we head into the weekend. So we'll break down that forecast a little bit more coming up in just a few, as well as give you that eclipse countdown. We're getting close.
Look forward to that. Thank you, Mia. Mitch McConnell says he will step down as Senate Republican leader in November. The 82-year-old senator from Kentucky is the longest-serving Senate leader in history. He is set to make the official announcement on the Senate floor today. McConnell says he plans to serve out his Senate term. That ends January 2027.
The Army cutting 24,000 positions. It's the result of the military shifting priority away from counterterrorism and adding resources toward Russia and China. Army numbers swelled to almost 600,000 during the wars in the Middle East, but it says that's no longer needed. This change to national defense strategy started under the Trump administration, but it's also been endorsed by the Biden White House. In reality, the Army may not have to actually discharge anyone. That's because recruitment numbers have been down in recent years. Fewer young Americans are interested or qualify for service, and low unemployment rates have given them other options.
The Supreme Court hearing an argument in a case that will ultimately decide whether to protect or overturn a ban on bump stocks. You may remember that bump stocks became noted during that shooting back in Las Vegas. They are devices that are added to the semi-automatic rifles, essentially allowing them to become rapidly firing like a machine gun. The deadliest mass shooting in the United States was in Las Vegas back in 2017, and that's when a gunman used a semi-automatic rifle equipped with a bump stock. A year later, President Donald Trump signed an executive order making bump stocks illegal. However, a Texas gun shop owner sued the government over the ban. A federal appeals court sided with that owner. Then the Biden administration appealed. Now the Supreme Court justices will take into consideration the legal definition of a machine gun. Their decision in the case is expected by the end of June.
Hunter Biden on Capitol Hill. It's for a closed-door deposition with lawmakers. The 14-month Republican investigation into the Biden family has centered on the president's son and his overseas work for clients in Ukraine, China, Romania, and other countries. Republicans have long questioned whether these business dealings involved corruption and influence peddling that benefited the president and his family, particularly when Biden was vice president.
Speaking of President Joe Biden and former President Donald Trump, they won their party's primaries in Michigan. Still, voters in Michigan sent President Biden a forceful message. Over 100,000 choosing to vote uncommitted. Young voters and members of the state's large Arab and Muslim community are doing this in protest. They're furious over Biden's handling of the war in Gaza. Trump won his primary by a large margin. Still, rival Nikki Haley was able to rally some support.
All right, moving on to deep fakes. Not only are they easier to come by, but this technology proves that it's getting easier to create, and it's even harder for us to spot.
ABC's Rebecca Jarvis with a look at the real harm that they can do.
My name is Caroline Mullet, and I'm a 9th grade at Issaquah High School.
Despite being the daughter of Washington State Senator Mark Mullet, this was Caroline's first time in front of her state legislature.
At our homecoming dance last year, a member of our class took pictures of my female friends and then posted them online using AI. He used AI to show my friends' faces, but then filtered their bodies to make them appear nude.
Caroline's friends had become victims of deepfakes, manipulated photos, videos, or audio created using artificial intelligence that appear real. Over the last year, as AI has become more accessible, deepfakes have become more prevalent, with targets ranging from political figures to celebrities like Taylor Swift to high schoolers. This week, reports of students creating and sharing nude AI-generated pictures of other students at a Beverly Hills middle school has led to a police investigation.
So it used to be you needed hundreds and thousands of images. Now you need a single image of somebody, and that's been about in the last year. There is zero barrier to entry now. You don't need skill, you don't need money, you don't need time, and you don't need effort.
And under the current Washington state law, if someone's image is used to make pornographic content without their consent, there's no legal recourse. Which is why last month, 15-year-old Caroline felt compelled to testify on behalf of her friends to support a bill that will change that.
I'm just glad that now it might become a law, so it will ensure that things like this won't happen again and that these photos won't have to be spread anymore.
We just want it to be clear to high school students that that's not just a joke. These are real feelings that are being hurt, and there's going to be real consequences.
At least 10 states have criminal laws against this type of media manipulation. And recently, the federal government introduced a bill that, if passed, would become the first national law to protect victims of deepfakes.
My perspective in the state Senate in Washington is you do it on the state level, and when enough states do it, a lot of times that leads to something happening at the federal level.
Every innovation has found a way to be weaponized, but the difference today is the speed and the scale with which that weaponization can happen. First of all, the generative AI and the AI space is moving at a speed that we have not seen before. But also the harm is not contained. It is on the internet for millions and millions to see. So the scale and the speed of what we are talking about is very different than what we've seen historically.
Once again, that was ABC's Rebecca Jarvis. Car prices are leveling out, and in some cases, they're even dropping. What's leading to the change, even though inflation is still something most of us are dealing with. A break for budget-conscious Americans. Car and truck prices increases are slowing down, and in some cases, we're seeing prices fall. It's helping cool overall inflation and giving frustrated Americans more hope of finding an affordable vehicle. So what's fueling all this? First, dealers are having more cars now to sell. With more inventory comes lower prices. However, inventories are still well below the pre-pandemic levels. Still, the rising availability suggests that 2024, you're going to be able to get a car because it's going to be most affordable year of the past 5 in which to buy a new vehicle.
Tomorrow is Leap Day, and various stores and restaurants around the country are in the mood to celebrate. Right now on KSAT.com, we have a list of places where you can get discounts, and that includes free guacamole, as well as discounts on your smoothies and your pizza. And apologies to everyone whose birthday has not occurred for many years.
4 years of celebration. And we are gearing up for the total solar eclipse coming up in April. Parts of Texas are in the path of totality. We already have a lot of good eclipse information online, including the local times for the eclipse, details on some public viewing events, and information about how to protect your eyes during the eclipse viewing. But what else do you want to know about the event? Let us know on KSAT.com.
Is it eclipse or eclipse?
I think that probably depends on the person who's saying it.
And it's probably what part of Texas you're in.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, hey, hopefully it doesn't look like this outside on Eclipse
Because this would ruin it, right?
Well, we would still see a little bit of a darkening. You know, the sky would overall get darker, but yeah, we wouldn't be able to see, the moon move in front of the sun. So hopefully cloud cover is a little bit better as we get closer to April 8th. All right, if you walked outside this morning around 6 or 7 a.m., you were headed off to work, we were in the 60s and 70s. Then we saw the front move in around 9 to 10. Temperatures dropped into the mid 50s, around 56 the lows so far today. We're trying to work our way up into the low 60s into this afternoon. Average is 70 in terms of our average high. 48 is the average low. Records 94 and 24. Quite opposite ends of the spectrum there, set back in 1940 and 1890 respectively. So yes, the temperature roller coaster continues. A few isolated chances for rain starting tomorrow. We'll get you those details coming up.
You know, this could be one of those days where if you ain't holding on to something, we might find you down around Atascosa County.
I know that some trash cans have been blown around here as well.
Most definitely. I know we had our morning meeting, and that's what one of our awesome web directors was saying. Wednesday is their trash day, and it seems like we get a lot of these fronts in on Wednesday, and their trash cans are just all over the place.
Yeah.
So, yeah, hopefully.
Hang on to something.
Yeah, hold on to your hat, too, if you're stepping outside, because it's definitely windy. We'll talk about the winds in just a second. Here is your eclipse countdown. 40 days away now from Monday, April 8th, when this total solar eclipse takes place. Again, northwestern San Antonio, northwestern Bexar County, and up into the hill country in the path of totality. And your eclipse fun fact for today, the next total solar eclipse over the continental U.S. is on August 23rd, 2044. So in 20 years from now in Montana and North Dakota. So that just goes to show how rare of an occasion this is, especially for that path of totality to be moving through south central Texas. So very excited for that. All right, your weather headlines today, windy and cooler, low 60s expected later on this afternoon. Tomorrow, even cooler, low 50s. That's it, with a few sprinkles possible as we see an area of low pressure approach the state of Texas from the west. After that, we are warming up quickly, mid 70s by Friday and a few degrees warmer as we look ahead to the upcoming weekend. So this week has definitely featured a little bit of everything for everyone. All right, taking a look at wind gusts right now, you can see behind that front, they sure are gusting upwards of 35 to even 40 miles per hour in spots. 39-mile-per-hour wind gusts right now in San Antonio, 41 over in Hondo, 31 in Rock Springs, 32 off to our southwest in Cotulla. What these winds have been doing, yes, ushering in that cooler air, but also much drier air. Look at dew points, which is how we measure the low-level moisture in the atmosphere. Currently in the 20s and 30s, very much in that very dry category. It's about 35 to 40 degrees below where we were 24 hours ago, which just means all of that humidity has been shoved out of here, out into South Texas and back into the Gulf of Mexico. We have been talking about, of course, especially with those wildfires up in the Panhandle, fire danger here in South Central Texas is elevated today because of that. In fact, we do have red flag warnings that have been issued south of San Antonio officially running through 6 p.m., but still a good idea to avoid outdoor burning just to be on the safe side. By the way, that low humidity carries over into our Thursday and even into Friday and Saturday for the most part, but after we start to see those winds shift back in from the southeast to get a little breezy out there, and we'll start to see more of that Gulf moisture return Sunday and into Monday. And that's also the time frame where we're going to be monitoring for an isolated storm to maybe pop up in the afternoons. So let's talk about that. This is the big picture. Of course, this area of low pressure moving over the Great Lakes is ultimately what's allowed that front to push through San Antonio, South Central Texas. That is advancing eastward closer to the mid-Atlantic. There is just a minor 1 out of 5 risk for a few severe storms for places like New York, Washington, D.C., stretching over to Raleigh and Atlanta. Nothing like that expected here for us here in San Antonio. But this area of low pressure off to the west is essentially what's going to be moving closer to us over the next couple of days. So tomorrow it's not going to amount to very much, but a few sprinkles, maybe some patchy drizzle certainly possible. And then as we head into the latter part of the weekend and even into early next week, it's just an isolated chance. Coverage, unfortunately, is not looking widespread, but we'll monitor for maybe an isolated shower or storm or two with those temperatures warming back up. We're going to take a step aside. We'll be right back after this.
I saw that come. Really? Go ahead.
You know,
that was fun. Come on, you were even laughing.
I have to admit,
we have to let him in on the joke, though.
Okay, so David's cracking himself up. because SA Lies is talking about the Tooth Fairy Day. And he wants to know if dentures count, like when you take your dentures out, if you put them under the pillow.
I think that gets you more. Yeah.
I mean, it should, right?
I think so.
Good question, David.
I think that's even more fairy dust.
Yes, more fairy dust, more money. Yes, that's a very good question. I didn't think of that.
So because it is National Tooth Fairy Day, scan that QR code and weigh in. What is the right amount for the tooth fairy for one tooth? And that is because wait till you hear us tell you in the show what some kids are getting from the tooth fairy these days because of inflation.
Wow, these tooth fairies, I tell you. All right, time to take a bite out of some delicious food. We have Tanya Manuel with Beyond Flavor joining us now. Hi.
All right, so what are we
making?
So we're making some chicken tenders, some quick and easy chicken tenders. Okay. All right, I'm gonna put that in there.
So we're gonna get those started, but the star here, the side that went viral is right there. And the recipe, well, it's a dirty little secret. Yeah, find out, dirty little secret. That's all I'm gonna say.
All right, and well, we all love tacos, right?
Yes, more food, and we're taking you inside a San Antonio staple, Henry's Puffy Taco, for the story behind the food.
And there is free tax prep help that we are going to tell you about, and also a free fiesta event for families that will also include free food.
All that and more coming up.